It's Victory Monday, but it's also Overreaction Monday. So my first overreaction that I want to dive into is Derek Carr versus Erik McCoy. Now, I think that it was a crazy instance that happened. I really don't know what to make of it. If you ask me, I think it's a really, really bad look, and I'm going to get into this overreaction and a whole lot more here in just a second. But I want to say thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. If you use our code CLNS at prizepicks.com/CLNS, you'll get a first deposit match up to $100. Now, in terms of some prize picks, I'm going with Monday Night Football doubleheader. So I'm rolling with Tua Tagovailoa, more than 291.5 passing yards. Devon A-Chain, I just needed him to find the end zone once. And Tajay Spears, we got to show some love to the NOLA boy. I'm going more on his rushing yards. Life's too short to project the less. So if you want to get started and take advantage of a $100 deposit match, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS. Prize Picks is daily fantasy sports made easy. All that information in the comment section and description of this video. Now let's dive into Erik McCoy versus Derek Carr. I just think this is a horrible look. I said that a second ago. In my personal belief, when I grew up playing football, I was a center. My little brother, he was a center. He's all state. And there is one common thing with any good center and any good quarterback. They're always on the same page. Those two players, the two people who touch the football every single play, have to be on the same page. Now, Dennis Allen, Erik McCoy, and Derek Carr all spoke about the incident, so let's dive into what they had to say. Here's what head coach Dennis Allen said. I think if you're ever in a highly competitive environment and things aren't going the way you want it to go, yeah, there's sometimes that you get frustrated. You lash out a bit. I'm glad that both of them had the balls to at least stand up and fight. You know what I mean? Hell, my wife and I argue, and it happens. So let's not make too much of it. And I'm going to be honest, I get what he's saying. I like, that's fair. Friends fight. I'm sure you and your girlfriend have gotten into a fight. I'm sure you and your best friend have gotten into a fight. I'm sure you've gotten into it with your parents. Things happen. But this isn't the first instance of Derek Carr and a player on the field getting into it or on the sideline getting into it. And it's just frustrating, and it really upsets me. But I want to dive into Erik McCoy's words because I think that he adds some context here. I think it was just some frustration. He was getting tired of hit. I was tired of him getting hit. And it was just, I lost my cool. I did. And like I said, Derek Carr, I'm sorry. We're good. I love him. He loves me. And we're on the same page. Now, that is some good news that Derek Carr and Erik McCoy are on the same page, if you ask me. They need to be on the same page. Like I said, these two players have to be in the same group. Like, they have to be moving as one solid unit. And that is a big reason why I think that Derek Carr hasn't been able to do so well this year. One, the offensive line has not done him any favors. Erik McCoy even said, we're tired of him getting hit. They got to execute. Derek Carr has to execute better. There's no one person who's at fault here. And now I want to dive into Derek Carr's words. I keep getting their names confused. Derek Carr. Say their two names 10 times and you'll get into the same habit. There is really nothing wrong. We had a moment. I've had some of those moments in my 10 years, a lot of times with a coach, with a teammate, with somebody, and I always learn that you always circle back, you make things right, and you keep on going. But that kind of stuff happens all the time at practice. I'm not saying with me and him. I'm just saying with teammates. That stuff kind of happens. And you just make sure you always circle back and make it right. And we did just that. And so I love Erik. I love Erik to death, but I would be completely honest with you. There is no problem. So obviously, this is a weird situation. It's an unfortunate thing that happened. I think it's a bad look. I think it's a little bit of a reflection of Dennis Allen and the weak coaching staff that they have. But I want to add a positive spin on things. We're not going to say who's going to win in a fight. We're not going to ask who you want to go into battle with you. But who would you rather go hit Mardi Gras with? Would you rather go out with Erik McCoy, or would you rather go party it up with Derek Carr? Let me know in the comment section by typing DC or EM. My next overreaction, guys, Jordan Howden, the Minnesota Golden Gopher, has been an absolute steal. He has been so good this year, and he's filled in very nicely for a Marcus May, who right now is on injured reserve. So Jordan Howden, just go off, Rook. 2023 stats. He has 31 tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 4 pass breakups, and a quarterback hit. That forced fumble came yesterday against Bryce Young, where he dislodged the ball out of Young's hands. Pete Werner came up with it. Everyone thought it was a pick at first, but it was ruled a forced fumble. I think he's been stellar. And the PFF coverage grades and all that, like, they're not going to sit here and say, oh my goodness, this guy is special. He is insane. He's incredible. But he's had a very, very limited run. He's only had a handful of snaps. Overall grade, 60.3. The run defense could be better. That pass rush grade, though, is stellar. He's a player who knows how to lay the wood. Giggity. He is absolutely a gamer. He is a tough football player. He hits real damn hard, and that's something I really, really like about him. And his best games came against New England. He had an 86.8 overall grade, and then yesterday versus Carolina, where he put up a 70.2 overall grade. And guys, we have some more overreactions and more coverage that I want to get into. But yesterday, I want to just say thank you to everyone who helped me celebrate my birthday on our watch party. We got to have some drinks, we got to have some fun, and make some memories, and I just want to say thank you. But all I want is 24,000 subscribers. So we got to get there before Friday, December 15th, which is my actual birthday. I'll be turning 25 years old. So let's get 24K for 25 years. All right. My next one, you guys are going to like this one. Jimmy Graham is him. I made a short yesterday. Official petition. This is my official motion, movement, whatever it is in economics and government. Whatever it is, this is my motion to change Jimmy's Graham to Himmy Graham. 4 catches for 30 yards. 4 catches, 3 of them are touchdowns. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thought that Jimmy Graham is a good football player? Who would have thought that he would do the good things in the red zone? The fact that he has not been utilized more, the fact that he's only had very, very limited touches. We saw him against Green Bay. We saw him yesterday. Like, there was like 6, 7, 8 weeks where just nothing. It was absolutely baffling to me. And what's crazy as well, this offense has been so underperforming that Jimmy Graham's 3 touchdowns is tied for second with Rashid Shaheed in receiving touchdowns. Only behind Chris Olave, who's first place. Alvin Kamara leads the team in touchdowns entirely outside of obviously Derek Carr's passing. But Jimmy Graham's been him. Himmy Graham has been an absolutely awesome football player, and it has been so fun to see him have a reunion with the Saints. I just wish that this coaching staff was a little bit more competent to utilize a player that's as special as number 80. So help me show some love to Himmy Graham by typing his jersey number down below. All right, it's time for some honesty hour here. I miss Wil Lutz. I said it. I have been defending Blake Grupe all season long. I have been saying he's a good kicker. He's this, he's that. Give him time. He's a rookie. I miss Lutz. I miss Big Nuts Lutz. The kicker comparison is just insane when you look at it. Blake Grupe to Wil Lutz. The field goal percentage favors Lutz. Blake Grupe, after his miss yesterday, dropped down to 77.4, which is 30th in the league. That is horrible. But his extra points, 100%. I'm going to keep it real with you. If you're a kicker in the NFL, that number should always be 100%. Wil Lutz has missed a few, but those were early in the season when the Broncos were in a little bit of a lull. Now they're red hot. The long for Blake Grupe is better than Wil Lutz. Got to give him credit there. And then the points. Grupe has put up 99. Lutz has put up 101. And Blake Grupe has not been good in close chip shots. For field goals under 29 yards, 7 of 9, which is good for 78-ish%. The rest of the NFL at 98.8% has only missed 2. And the 2 players who missed, Riley Patterson of the Detroit Lions and Joey Sly, are the only 2 other kickers of the Washington Commanders who have missed inside the 29-yard line. That's not good. Blake Grupe has to be better. I miss Wil Lutz. My last overreaction, and I don't know how I feel about it, but based on how things went yesterday with the Falcons and Bucs game, the Bucs are on top of the division. Right now, the NFC Playoff Picture shakes out to have the Saints in the hunt with the Atlanta Falcons alongside the Rams and Seattle. However, Tampa Bay is going to the postseason if it ended today. Eagles dropped down to number 5. So right now, because the Eagles lost to the Cowboys are number 1 in the NFC East. The New Orleans Saints, or whoever wins the NFC South, is going to have to play that number 5 seed. It's likely going to shake out to be either Dallas or Philadelphia. Those are 2 teams that I do not want to play right now. And for the remaining schedule for New Orleans, you got to go and do something. You got to make something happen here. I swear to God, if Tommy DeVito makes you look like an absolutely incompetent football team, I may lose my mind. I may never recover from that. The Rams, they're playing really good football right now. Earlier in the season, I would have said that's an easy win, but they're playing pretty good football. The Bucs and the Falcons, obviously those are must-win games. You can't mess around. You can't goof around. You got to just handle your effing business and take care of the job. The playoff odds right now, as they stand, 29% to make the playoffs just in general. To host a wild card, you have a 23% chance. To get a wild card spot, you only have a 6% chance. And this is all coming from the New York Times playoff simulator. So basically what this means is you got to win as many games as you possibly can. But I went through it and I ran some sims, and I'm just going to tell you this. Long story short, you have to at least win 3 out of the next 4. That's the best way to get the best odds. And you at least have to have one of those wins come against the Bucs or the Falcons. If you lose one of those, you still can have a shot to make the postseason, but it's pretty tough. If you get wins over New York, Los Angeles, and Tampa Bay, you have a 91% chance to make it. 14% chance to get the wild card, 77% chance to win the division and host that wild card game against the Eagles or the Cowboys likely. If you only beat Tampa Bay and Atlanta, you have a 34% chance to make the postseason. You have less than a 1% chance to make the wild card, and you have a 34% chance to host that wild card game. So, long story short, go win the damn football games. Stop messing around and go win the damn games. But I want you guys to let me know, and I want you to be honest with me. I'm not asking, do you think? I'm not asking, who's going to. I'm asking, do you want to make the playoffs? Do you want the Saints to be a postseason team this year? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to give an in for no. I think it's going to be absolutely embarrassing. And quite frankly, if you make the postseason, that's reason enough to keep Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael around for another year. And good God, I cannot do this song and dance for another season. But guys, if you want more coverage in between these videos, or if you just want to chop it up about the New Orleans Saints, I'm always tweeting about them over on X. Xing about them? Tweeting? I don't know. I'm over on X, formerly known as Twitter. Just give me a follow. That link is in the comment section description. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.